911 emergency.
I guess that everyone else on the station until people freaking out.
Okay, I can hardly hear you, sir. Are you still there? I can't understand your phone.
Just listen, I hear somebody saying they're gonna kill people, and everyone else on there freaking out outside.
Okay, where are you at?
Everyone else on there can't sleep, so I have to go right now.
Where are you at?
Everyone else on there, but I have to go, please, listen.
Where are, sir? Hello?
You ready? Here you go.
Ah!
Right.
Taco.
I love you. I'm gonna edit this one.
The younger boys don't know what happened that night.
Well, they know what happened that night, but not that morning.
I mean,
Well, that morning.
that
Okay, that
minute,
morning at that
yeah.
minute.
I would expect to give a summary version of the evidence that we would have expected to present at trial.
Okay.
Monday morning, do you want to meet somewhere? Do you want me to go with you? I mean, go
How
and hit the
about
button.
if we meet in the parking lot in the back of Walmart where they do the auto work? You would be.
Just, I have to be there and standing in front of that little window by 9.
By 1
or
minute to 9.
2 minutes.
Yes.
You
We
think
better
the
be there
press
if
is
you
gonna
want.
be there since they know about it? It was in the newspaper and on the news.
You know, I would think no, but yet, you know, never say never with this case. I mean,
I know.
it doesn't have any precedent in this county.
Are you guys ready?
Nice job. Okay, you switch. Nice, man. Hey guys. Nice to meet you. Are you racing?
Sounds like the girls gonna be in school then?
No, they can go.
They aren't going to school then.
Yeah, they can go the next day. They can have an extra day on spring break.
Because I heard your mom say last night already she's given you instructions for how you're supposed to behave when she's gone away.
No
Oh.
beer, kids.
No beer, what else?
No smoking.
No smoking?
No driving insane.
Well, they can do everything. I'm just saying they don't get to smoke,
Like what?
drink, and
What do you
drive
get to
crazy.
You have to get aged?
I get to breathe.
Who wants to start?
I'd like to have a normal life with my entire family. At least I still have my brothers and my dog with me. I think it's wrong that our family will not be whole again for another 10 years. Then I will already be an adult. The last year has been like being stuck on the first level of a video game. It's repetitive and it sucks. It's not as bad as all the other years. It sucks because Randy's gone.
Well, and what you and Donna and the other extended family members have is a lot of guilt.
Yeah, I do, because Wendy would come to my house all the time. I'd go outside in the pouring rain or something because my laundry room was out in my garage, and Wendy'd be standing there bawling or scared to death.
I should have done something, but I was afraid to do something for Wendy and make it worse for her.
I know that they're going through their thing. I'm not denying that.
But it is shocking that he's dead.
after I got out of jail, I moved downstairs with Chris, and my mom and Don lived up here. So they moved down there, and me and the kids moved upstairs. But now I'm going through all my stuff and just keeping what I want to keep.
I just snorted.
Did you get yours, Anna?
TV.
I know, I thought you said this is when John got baptized.
That's Marshall and that's Joshua.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Ew, that is so gross. It looks like he was using the restroom.
Look at how young she looked when she got married.
How
old were you?
Where's the movie at?
It's under the counter, so you can't steal it.
She re-rented it? What do you mean under the counter?
Like at the video game stores, the cases are empty.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
This is the trip where Tyler was playing with the snow globe and got the stitches.
Gaping wound.
Like, no big deal. He's all gaping wound. You know, like, because nobody knows how he really got it.
Ninja, appear! Ninja, disappear!
Hello.
Oh, that's a good thing to put on here.
It's before.
Joshua!
Shut up.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You can't take your medicine.
No, you can't take it to prison. You can't take anything. So she's finding out about that. But she said just get refills on all my stuff if they're refillable and just take them with me.
And then what do you do when you get up there? How do you get your medicine?
I don't know. I guess I'll find out.
Okay.
Think you're unwanted.
It's fine.
You can have this one.
I want them all.
I think I've painted for like 6 months. A year at the most, and I just painted these.
Yes. This was a month after I was born. If there's any naked ones, I'm switching the next one right away. Joshua, Marshall. Marshall, Randy. Marshall. Yeah, more of Randy. And there's me. Just such a big head. Yep. Yeah, I have one that says, I don't suffer from laziness, I enjoy every minute of it. This one was Randy's, but yeah.
Yeah. Dang, that was Randy's Oregon Trail project. Every time there's something the kids draw on a piece of paper, they want to save it. I have like boxes full of their
You had to get tagged. You would do that first.
I'll just watch the picture.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That question in his eyes all the time. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Randy.
Randy. He's got
Yeah, and
question behind his eyes. Like, what's gonna happen? You can see it.
Yeah. Okay. You can have one. Pretty soon you just have to decide if you can have one or not. You know what I mean? No. We just got here.
Waiting to find
Okay. Bye.
What they want.
You want to know if you can have a soda? Okay.
I did that wrong.
You did it right. It held those two.
Okay.
Oh. Let that matter, Mom.
Yeah.
I don't like the poker ones because
I know,
they're hard
I'm
for me to
feeling
win. No. What am I gonna do with money? I'm gonna be in jail. This thing's
It's what?
strong.
I could never do it.
I know, but I just drink it fast and don't breathe, I guess. Peter. And so I made this and I hung it over the big calendar we had in our bedroom. And they and me cross off the day when we go to bed every night. And they're like, so it was more reality for me. And then I drew. When I made it, I was mad. I was like, I have to go to jail. So I put the 3 behind bars. The day we signed the thing was here. Because my lawyer told me on this day about the deal or something like that, and I'm all, I have to do it, you know? So, and then or maybe it was a few days before that, but then I told my kids, and they were just like, la la la, thinking that it's not. So I'm all, look, this many days, you know? But their whole life's been crazy, so they can be kids still during crazy stuff, you know? Like we'll be going to bed and I'll be in bed and I'll still be on the computer and it's right there and I'll go, oh yeah, cross off another day. Or they'll say, oh, we need to cross off another day, you know?
Are you gonna go out and blow those 2 things before you go
Yeah,
out?
so I gotta hurry and do that. That's what I'll do now. Yeah, I quit school, like at the end of 10th grade. I got detention or something for missing a day and not bringing a note, something stupid, and if you don't go to detention, they double it, and then if you have 2 days, the next day it's 4, then it's 8, and I had like 200 and something days because I wasn't going to their detention. I'm still going to school, then I just quit and went and got my GED. We would go to places with us and the kids to we had these friends that were older than us, and we went to his birthday party, the guys at the park, and he had a bunch of biker friends and whatever, and then later his wife told me that they thought that I was one of Aaron's kids. Okay, so I was like 15 and a half when we started going out. We got married when I was like 17, and my mom drove us to town. We got the pregnancy test.
Cool. This is us.
We're just standing here.
It's got that little light. We're just standing here.
Okay, no.
Kitty. I'm recording you. You're so cute. I can't even see you. The lighting sucks. Yeah, I can see you now, Kitty.
I mean, he was kind of like possessive, and You know, you can't say these certain words, you can't hang out with these people, you know. He just didn't, you know, he ain't gonna tell me I'm some crazy guy marrying me, you know what I mean? He's gonna pretend to be nice.
Oh, it'll be sideways on the thing. You're sideways on the TV screen right now. Come on, let's make you upside down. Look out, Wendy, you're gonna fall. Oh, your mom went over still in her bottles because it's on film. Shut it up.
Wait, I don't got your face. Okay, now do it. I'm getting inside of your mouth.
Wow, pregnant. Zoom in on that pregnant tummy. There's my kid. There he is. Right inside that big pregnant tummy. Get off, I can't tell that you're pregnant. Come here, over here. Stand back more, you're too close. Okay. Stand on the side. Yep. See, there you are.
So, but before that, when I was pregnant the very first time when I was, I don't know, like I was 17, he thought, oh, finally something nobody can take away from me. Well then, after she was born, we found out she was sick, and she died 9 days later. So after that, it was just like, nothing, nobody's going anywhere.
Hey, there's a cameraman looking at me.
There.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
You gotta open the door for me.
Come out this way. Slide over. I'll get your first break. What are you filming? The ground?
Yeah, I knew.
Film me, not the ground.
I'm trying.
Yeah, get up in front of me and walk backwards.
No, I don't want to get hurt.
Yeah, walk backwards.
Told ya.
Just walk straight with me. Can you get my face? It looks like you're staring at the Hey, Bookie.
He started doing more stuff, but I mean, just the story. I mean, just that one day, the story he said was just like, fuck, you know. We were just laying in bed at our house. It wasn't here, and he just told me the story about how his fantasy is to be a killer, serial killer, kill people, and just, not just kill them, but like have them, keep them, held hostage for days, as many days as it takes for them to die, and then slowly just torture them, cut off their fingers, peel their skin, you know, stuff like that. And I knew, you know, he goes hunting, and he's been hunting, and, you know, he knows how to kill, skin a deer, gut it, you know, all that shit.
Sit. I killed the fawn!
Come on, Bruiser.
Oh, fuck. Its neck's all stiff. And it's bald. And a busted leg. My toes broke. Look. Gotta dip a little bit.
I don't know. And then, like, when Randy was like a year and a half old, that's when I found out he was really crazy. I don't know. Just in this area, nobody has ever won a case. I'm the only person to ever get bail on this charge, ever, that anybody can remember in this town. They just don't want to look bad by, you know, just letting me look, you know, which it isn't. Letting somebody walk is different than this.
Nine-one-one emergency.
I need help.
Okay, what kind of help?
I just killed my husband.
You what?
I fucking hit him in the head with a hammer.
Okay, where are you at?
Is he getting out of bed?
Where are you at?
I'm at 2921 Elmer Nelson Lane. Get here, he's still fucking, I don't know.
Okay, I need you to calm down so I can help you, okay? You hit him over the head?
Yes.
Is he conscious?
He's breathing hard.
Is he conscious or his eyes awake?
No!
Okay, don't yell at me, okay? What's your name?
Wendy Maldonado.
Okay, Wendy. I'm going to stay with you, okay? I'm going to get help on the way.
Go call them and tell her what I did. Now.
I'm going to stay with you, Wendy, okay, until they get there, all right? Wendy?
Yes.
I want you to take a breath, okay? I'm going to stay with you, okay, until they get there.
Oh, my God.
What happened? Did he try and hurt you or anything?
Every fucking day of my life.
Okay, okay. You can take a breath, okay? Huh?
Yes.
Okay. Where's your hammer right now, sweetie?
In my hand.
Okay. Can you give it to your son? I
Yes.
just want when help gets there, I don't want them to see you with the hammer, okay?
Yes.
So you guys were fighting tonight?
Yes.
Okay,
The
all
police
right.
already came out here once.
Did they?
Yes, because my sister had a 911 phone here because her husband was stalking her and stuff.
Right.
And she moved out and she left it with me because she thought I might need it. And I had he was outside earlier running around the neighborhood screaming and saying he was going to go kill our neighbor. He had a wrench in his hand. And he was outside fucking running through the neighborhood, kicking around everything. And the police came.
Okay.
And me and my son walked out, and they said, "What are you doing out here?" And I said, "We saw your lights, so we came out." And they asked if we heard anybody running around screaming in the neighborhood. And I said, "No." And my son said, "No," because he was in the house with my other 3 kids. Like,
okay, sweetie. You just take a breath for me, okay? Are you hurt in any way?
I got fucking knots on my head from, like, we were in Reno a week ago, and he fucking attacked me in the hotel room. And,
Okay. Okay, I'm going to stay with you until they get there, all right? Just hang tight with me. They're on their way. Okay? Take a breath for me. If you need to cry, you go ahead and cry, okay? I want to know if he hurt you tonight.
He beat up my son tonight.
He beat up your son tonight? Okay. Is he bleeding from the head?
Who?
Your husband.
His head is caved in.
Okay, you caved it in. Okay. Okay, all right.
Every time when he's asleep, he just, in the middle of his sleep, he'll wake up screaming, and, "I'm going to kill you!" And he's like fucking drunk tonight, and he just keeps...
Have you been drinking, Wendy, too?
What time is it right now?
It is almost 6 o'clock.
Oh, I had 1 shot of tequila at 11 o'clock tonight, and that was it.
Okay. No, I want you to stay with me, okay? Just so I can keep you safe. What's he doing now? What is his name? I haven't even asked you what's your husband's name.
Aaron, I have blood on my arm.
That's okay. We'll wash that off, okay?
I'm scared.
I know you're scared. That's why we're here to help you. I've already got help on the way for you, sweetie.
I just want my kids to be safe. I don't want my kids to be safe.
Wendy, take a breath, okay? Just take a breath and stay with me. We're going to work through this and get you help, okay? I know you're scared.
I need to talk to my son for a second, can I?
Well, don't hang up on me. Why don't you call him over to you so I can stay with you? Okay? Okay. Is your son's okay?
Yes, I'm getting scared.
You what, hon? You have 4 sons, did you say?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good.
I'm sorry. I'm just freaked out.
I know you are.
I'm afraid of him. I know that he's not going to get up, but I think he's going to get up and come over and get me.
No one's going to hurt you anymore, okay? I'm here with you. No one's going to hurt you.
All right. I'm going to jail now.
Wendy, so let's...
I'm going to throw up.
You want to throw up, did you say?
I feel so sick.
Okay, so take a breath and let's work this out, okay? No? What, hon? Wendy? Wendy, I need you to calm down, okay? I'm going to stay with you till you calm down, okay, sweetie? What's he doing now? Tell me what Aaron's doing now.
Red in there. A lot of red in the base of it. And then you come out of it, Brogade? I think Brogade. He's in rehab right now. But she's usually a couple months out.
Getting ready, huh? Nervous? A little bit?
No.
You're gonna be okay. And so who initials are these?
Those are my sister Wendy's and her
Uh-huh.
son Randy's.
I don't think there's any greater tribute to somebody than putting their initials or name on you. Well, you know, small town like this, you know, the paper has a tendency to exaggerate or, well, I never believe what's on television or the paper.
I don't either. I don't believe
Take
anything.
about half truths or you know something, I'm going to believe it when I hear it. There's
Right,
two
I
sides
believe
to
it
every
when
story.
I hear it and see it.
Voila, mon ami. Finito.
I'm getting Wendy and Randy's name on there. Has to be big enough to see.
One of the things that I discovered with Wendy is it's hard for her to find people like her.
You just threaten you with anything or poke you with it and hold it in until it like just breaks the skin, stuff like that.
Spin your nunchucks.
It just shows how they think they're so smart and unique and stuff, but then they all do the same stupid things.
I'm going to stab you.
It
He didn't go by laws, so custody, restraining order, that don't mean anything. That's a piece of paper. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm taking them. You know, you'll be dead, so you won't even know I have it. Woo! Days, nights, weekends, Christmas, summer, winter, didn't matter. It was all, it didn't matter. Is it Thursday at 2 o'clock? You know what I mean? Because we didn't go by days and nights and schedules and this because our kids weren't in school and he didn't work. So I mean, it doesn't matter. Reality wasn't there.
Right here now.
It was getting out, you know, escaping, you know, like, I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, I mean, all I did was like chew off my leg because it was caught in a bear trap and run, you know, or whatever out of there with all the kids. Everybody's staring at me.
Who made the countdown calendar?
Oh, me, yeah. Because like my kids, you know, like, oh, it's going to be all good. You're going to get out. They're going to tell the story and they'll let you go. And I'm all, no, this is really true. And so the day that I decided I'm doing this, you know, I put that on there.
Yeah.
I drew the bars. We had a lot of stuff to go through and stuff. And I'm like, I'm leaving in a few days. Let's, you know. And they kept going down and playing with my... Yeah, and they cross off the days, you know.
And pretty soon it'll be the hours.
Yeah. But I don't think they're going to wake up in the morning when I have to go. No, they'll still be sleeping when I go. They don't get up. So I think I'll just say bye and go down there without them.
Well, I have to go.
Okay, you got
Thank
you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Don't go to the river.
Don't
idiot, Ryan! That is an automatic. Hey, Ford! Over there! Oh, I didn't roll again.
Ask him. The first hole?
Joshua. Joshua.
Oh my gosh, I got so close.
Actually, yeah.
30 seconds. 30 seconds or something, yeah. I mean, they already watch them every time they still.
You haven't had ranch until you've had Hidden Valley. It's the best. Oh, I knew this.
No, I know. I got, remember Marshall's statement the other day about the pictures hanging on the wall?
You also said our house is an art gallery.
Yeah.
My pictures were hung up all over the house, but under them were holes. Aaron hit holes in the walls and threw us in them. He kicked holes too. My mom hung pictures when he was gone because he would have hurt her more.
These are some of the ones actually that were on the wall. They'd always give me their pictures, you know, and I'd have them, and then, oh, a new hole, you know, so I'd just cover them up. I mean, you should have seen when we lived downstairs, that hallway. I started doing that, you know, and then, like, the whole wall, the hallway was covered with pictures. When I told Chris I'm doing this plea thing, she's like, they can't do that. How can they do that? And I'm having to, she's in there bawling, and I'm having to make her feel better, you know, and it's just the way it is. You know, they can do whatever they want, you know.
I know, honey.
I know. I'll just cry about it later and deal with it later and sleep later. I'm so used to just crazy that I'll just deal with it now.
Fight everything.
Not that I don't want my kids to think she's not crying, she doesn't, you know, because they don't cry either. You know, they just deal with it. Is that Tommy guy?
Yeah.
He's just some guy that was riding behind us in the car.
And he reached over with his left hand and pulled her down towards him and continued to hit her. Just like say in the middle of the day, just to reach over someone and just grab him, just to hit him like that. By that time I was on the phone with 911.
Yeah, they called the police and they didn't do anything about it.
People in our society have to be willing to say, okay, my best friend beats his wife, so I need to confront him and say, look, I know what you do to your wife, you knock it off. Instead of going, oh, it's none of my business. I don't know why we're a country that's complaining about how other countries treat women when we don't take care of them any better.
Okay, so it says, oh, for the powers and the gift He's give us to see ourselves as others see us. Well, my dear outspoken one, you are so quick to criticize others. Did you ever stop to analyze yourself? You are a very sensitive person and a very critical one. You have a very sharp tongue, which may cause unhappiness to others. Try to cultivate a red-haired person. Therein lies a great deal of happiness for you. Look, a red-headed person.
I asked how Aaron would discipline his children. She said he would give them choices.
Stomach or the face?
Yeah.
Yeah. Head or gut.
That's true.
Yeah, he used to say head or gut. And then basically the full, you know.
That was your choice?
Yeah, and they
Yeah. We had choices.
Hey, look at my back teeth. They're like all missing from getting punched in the face, and then they'd get broken off, and they'd have to get them pulled out.
Yeah.
From their back, and then.
But it makes me nervous.
This is embarrassing.
I know. I said, lock the doors. He started laughing. He said, okay.
I only have these.
Okay.
The rest were
Okay.
knocked out, broken off.
If you would have said it, he'd say, I don't have to.
So that's
Oh, yeah, I know.
my key.
That's what it is. But if somebody else.
And then on this side of this big tooth, there's like a big piece scratched out of it from him hitting me after I got this thing, and it just crushing into the side of this tooth.
Okay.
Okay, this is the expert witness statement. She gave me a copy, and I read it. Down here,
It says, weekly, Mr. Maldonado used wire over fire and burned her and the children. He used to take a hanger. I drew a picture of it for my lawyer, and he would fold it like, you know, the end of a fly swatter, like the handle, and then it would come out to a point and go down. It was like this long altogether, but it had like a handle, and he would burn it with a lighter and then put it on my wrists and just make me keep my wrists there and not move. And then, you know, and I was like wanted to move, and I would sometimes, and then eventually I just sat there, you know, because if you move your hand, you get hit. So then that wasn't good enough. It doesn't say that in here. So he's like, you know, oh, she can handle this. What can I do now? So he would just light the lighter and make me hold my hand over it, you know, my wrist right here. Everything was hidden. The dog leashes, the fly swatters, because of the wire thing, he would just hit me with that. There was a blue laundry basket just full of a bag with, I think it had Coke bottles and stuff in it, but I had like a whole bunch of knives like this big in there hidden, and we would hide all the broom handles and stuff because he would always break them over me and Randy. So I'd buy those ones where it unscrews and put them in the back room. He didn't go looking for anything, he just grabbed what was around him. So I would just sweep the floor with the little thing. Weekly, he lined the children up in the living room while cussing, hitting, and making death threats. He said, I'm gonna fucking kill you. It says while sitting on them and punching their faces and stomachs. And then it says, one of the children remembered that he learned to flex his stomach when he was in close proximity. That's Marshall, he's on me. To his dad to protect himself from the blow.
Yeah, I just did that whenever I walked by him or whenever he called us. Said my name or anything. It's good technique.
If I just played the wrong note or anything. Yeah, like there would be something solid in my hand and you'd start hitting my hand.
Like what?
An amp or the ground.
It says, burned her and the children, strangled them, hit them, slapped them, kicked them, punched them on the face, stomach, pushed them down the stairs, pulled their hair, grabbed their arms and legs, threw them against the wall. In the past few years, twice a week, he grabbed a machete and drove me to the kill me spot. He said to her, you have 10 seconds to talk me out of killing you. You know?
Where was the kill me spot?
Okay, it's either like right here or right over there. I think this might be the spot. Like I was laying right here on the ground. This just feels like the spot to me. A lot of times he'd make me get naked and push me out the door. There you go, bitch. Everything happened every day, you know, but I would like it to be, I don't know why. I don't want it to be fake for me. I mean, it was all real. I know what happened.
Right.
Can you look through?
I like that. That one.
Yeah, I like that one. And
That
the
one's
next one.
good.
These ones are my favorite. This corner and the next corner.
What's that?
Yeah, this one's stamina.
That's down here.
Yeah, the very bottom. And this here. That's all I have so far.
When I get out, I'm going to
Coast is so
Arizona.
beautiful.
I won't see them again. Somewhere warm.
I like warm too. I used to hate to be hot. I've been cold
It
the
is
last
too
couple of
cold.
years.
I cannot handle it. If it was my choice, I would have moved years ago, but we didn't have enough money for gas in the car. Chris used to live in that house, like before we lived there, and then she moved out and moved down here. And she left, she got a 911 phone from the Women's Crisis Center.
It's a cell phone that doesn't have service but for 911.
Yeah, but she gave it to me when she moved out and said, if you ever need to use this, use it. So I had it plugged in under the kid's bed upstairs.
The bed, the headboard part was here, then it went this way. Here's the mattress. I folded over this piece of wood here. Sometimes we set it right there.
Yeah, so the kids all knew it was there in case they needed a call ever. Just that night, he was gonna kill the neighbor basically, and he went outside. He came back and then he went in the shop and grabbed a big wrench. And we could just hear him screaming, freaking out, and he said, I'm leaving right now, I'm gonna go over there and kill him. So me and Randy decided to use the phone and call 911. And then he came back a few months later, and I went and looked out the curtain. I said, the cops are here, you know? And so he got like, oh my gosh, and turned off all the lights in the whole house and just said, you guys go out there and get rid of him. Remember, I'm in here with the other kids. So we go walking out there, and Randy's, I mean, his neck was red. He had blood on his shirt, but he had a black shirt on, so you couldn't see it from like wiping, you know, his blood all night long. I'm sure we looked like shit was happening.
And they didn't do anything.
No, we walked to the end of the driveway. You know, we got there about when they were stopping and getting out of their cars.
We heard some commotion like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning across the creek. We can see over there pretty good through our window. The commotion stopped for a couple of minutes, and we heard Wendy come outside and start talking to the cop.
They just asked us what's going on, if we heard anything. I said, no, I didn't hear anything. They're all, okay, if you're sure, and whatever, and they're all, well, if you need anything, call us back. And them saying call us back, it's like, did they know we called and then just didn't do anything? But later, Randy told Chris, he was saying with his eyes, like, you know, do something, but we couldn't because there was that video surveillance set up at the house. He could hear, because the camera was out there, and see everything. So they're okay, and they leave, and we go back in the house. And then when they're pulling out, the neighbor comes running out of the house like, what are you doing? You're leaving. We have a law that they're supposed to go check it out, you know?
We stopped them right here off Hubbard, and we told the cops, you know, there's something going on across the creek. You guys need to go back and do something. And they're like, well, no, if you guys hear anything else, then just give us a call, and we'll come back and deal with it. That's when they drove off, yeah.
They said, unless we get another call, we're not coming back out.
Yeah, and so
then they got another call.
About 6:30 in the morning, my girlfriend wakes me up and says, there's something going on across the creek, and I peek my head out the window, and sure enough, they're carrying Aaron out on a bodyboard.
They became ruthless on them. They fed them nothing, beat them, and made them work very, very hard.
I'm sure glad to get back to broadcast.
I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice to worship you, oh my soul.
Terry, you feel free to move right in.
This is her mother and her kids and her nephew. And I ran and there's a huge family that all hurting and wanting to do what the Lord wants us to do. Wendy's the only one who's brave.
I don't think it's going to be that bad compared to everything else.
Wrap this family up in your arms, Lord, and be their portion through this time. You use this for healing. You use this to restore souls and hearts and minds. And you will be faithful to this family, Lord. In Jesus' name, now we thank you and we pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you, guys. Yeah, we love you guys. Okay, we have you in there. Okay. Let us know if you're Maureen or anybody. Thanks, guys. Okay.
This happened, and we're on this day, and that's the morning of tomorrow at 9. Yeah, around 9. 9 o'clock, not 9. That stinks. Yeah.
yeah, he was chasing the neighbor upstairs with the machete, but in her roof, there's like where he poked it with the machete, and then I filled it in with drywall mud, you know. But you can still see the shape, how it's fatter at one end and then it gets skinnier from the blade.
He was took a machete and he was trying to chop down the support beam for the upstairs. When my son told him he needs to knock it off.
And all I did was clear my throat. And he spun around real quick. Notice I was up there, came running up the stairs.
Right behind my son got in the house just in time to avoid being hit with the machete. He swung the machete, just barely missed my 2-year-old grandson's head.
And Aaron missed him by about 4 inches.
We called 911. They came out. He hid at the time. They ended up leaving.
Aaron's sitting there
opening and closing the window going, I'm gonna kill you guys. I'm gonna cut your head off. Just going totally nuts.
The 911 operator heard what was going on, sent the police back out. They refused to do anything. And I mean, the family never had a chance. You know, from day one, police were called, they never responded. And when they did, they come to the door, Aaron would say, oh, everything's fine. They never checked. They never checked Wendy, they never checked the kids or anything else. They just left.
And with the kids, he would sit there and purposely pit them against each other and make them beat on each other. And if one wouldn't beat on the other one, he'd beat up the one that wouldn't do it. Like if he would try to get Randy to beat up the twins. If Randy would say no, he'd beat up Randy and slam him around.
You know, the numerous times that he slammed her up against the wall and the kids telling him, Daddy, please stop. This was a normal thing every single day. I mean, it never stopped, and it never would have until, you know, one of them was either seriously hurt or they were dead.
That's our daughter.
Nikita?
Yeah. Well, this was her first photo. This was like a day old, but yeah, when she was 9 days old, she died. Well, she had Down syndrome and a heart problem. Tyler, he wanted to be a ghost for Halloween, so yeah. Because most people, you know, they don't want to just wear a sheet. He wanted to so bad. Okay, get it open. I guess it's already
Then that's where John put.
Randy's stuff.
Is it ready to go? Can I wear it?
He didn't like it in stuff because everything sucked. His hat.
His hat and set.
Yeah,
he
he
wore
liked
this a
that
lot.
Not that he's gonna want these clothes, but he'll want to look and go, oh, I used to be a little kid before they fucking locked me up. He wanted to save that, but Aaron used to always wear it. It was Randy's coat. But...
Oh, I won't. I know better than that.
Samantha said she's going to.
Oh, good.
Marshall saw this picture one time. He's all, I saw that picture in Grandma's room, and everybody looks like me. We all have the same teeth because we all have these big front teeth. Mine stick out.
I never saw yours.
I'll show you really fast. My show's coming back on. No.
Wrestling downstairs.
Oh.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wait 15 minutes and we're ready for round two.
Are those the statements? Yeah. Did you read them out or no?
Oh my God. Did you read
Like Wendy's statement is so perfect. I'm almost done. You'll have to read it. It's so good.
I read everybody's. I need to read Paul's, and I want to read.
It's perfect.
And if I don't take, I just want to work.
8:45, but I'll probably be there a little early. Because I don't want to. Well, because everybody's going to want to say bye and everything, and then I'll be late and get in trouble.
That would suck if she wins right now, wins a whole bunch.
Alright, bye.
Was she sleeping? I'm invisible. All you see is the ring floating.
The girls are probably fighting or something.
Did you win anything?
$3.
Yeah, boy. We see that.
For a little while, baby. You're lucky it's a special occasion, kid.
Special, huh? Tired. But I'm not going to sleep. Because I don't want him to sleep all night. I mean, I do, but I want them to be awake for a couple hours in the morning. So I'm going to be in there cleaning the room for an hour.
I know.
I don't want to leave all my clothes hanging in the closet. You know what I mean? Because then my kids will look at it and all, you know, try to get it out. They haven't waited yet. We'll do that when we leave.
This was 1998.
Wendy.
A couple pictures of the ground in the wall.
Which is really nice.
Where's Wendy?
The trouble is you're tall and short.
Yeah.
Red light on?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Is it still on? Well, don't stare, let it stare at the ground.
Yeah, this is me and my cousin. We used to do ballet.
How old?
I was probably 9. And then I found this. This is a CD that he made. Or a CD, a tape. His band that he had a long time ago. Aaron.
What were they called?
Chaos. But I was going to show you the lyrics for one of the songs that he wrote about me. And he used to tell me that. Here it is. It's called Menu Macabre.
It's called what?
Menu Macabre. But there's the lyrics for it.
Which line in particular?
Oh, the whole thing. Lyrics, Aaron, music. And it was inspired by me, he used to tell me. Remember earlier when I was telling you about when Tyler told his teacher he wanted to kill his dad when he got big enough?
Yeah.
And I would just picture this table, because this table's like the table that he would just grab me and just start choking me and just throw me on the table, and I'd just slide across, because the table was long. When I like read Tyler's statement or hear that, I just picture that table, and then I saw it on the video the other day, and but that's it right there.
This is Tyler's photo album, the year that he said that he was going to kill his dad because he was mean to his mom.
And I know my dad started hitting me before preschool because when I was in preschool, I told one of our teachers that when I got bigger, I would kill my father. When I was 8, I went to my grandma's house, and me and some girl named Missy were throwing a snow globe back and forth, and it hit the coffee table and broke. My dad took me outside with the snow globe, and then he sat me in the yard and started yelling. Then a minute later, he took the snow globe and threw it at me and hit me in the head. So I went inside a minute later, then I noticed blood running down my head. And then I asked if I should cry. One time my dad hit my mom in the head with his forearm and broke his forearm over my mom's head. He said he did it chopping wood, which he would never do. This is about my brother. It was scary to watch Aaron hit me, because Randy was the biggest of all of us. And if he could hurt him, I knew he was able to kill all of us. One time that I remember, because it happened a lot, he hit Randy so hard so many times. Randy had little red marks on his head. This part's about my mom. My mom is the nicest person you could ever meet, and I saw Aaron hit my mom many times. Also, I saw her hand strangle her, and most of the time he would almost kill her. He would hit my mom until it seems like a human would die. But my mom was used to it. Paco's my brother's dog. If Paco could talk, this is what he would say. I was scared when he yelled. I was frightened when he hit. I was terrified when he chased me. When he yelled, I would run upstairs and hide under the bed. Whenever I went outside, the kids had to stand there and watch, because if I scratched, he would hit them and threaten to kill them. He would always try to strangle when he break the pots. Paco is the nicest dog you could ever meet. This is only a small glimpse of what my family had to go through. If you could times this by 1,000,000, and you wouldn't even see a small fraction of what we had to go through. Thank you for letting me have this chance to speak. I'm proud to be in a family with these two, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
I mean, what happened that night?
I don't know. A lot. And I don't know why why I did that night. I have no idea, because in my mind, I could have waited another 20 years, or I could have done it 10 years ago. You know what I mean? I have no idea. I don't know. Punching bag that was on hanging from the roof knocked over Aaron's amp, so he got all pissed off. And freaked out and was telling everybody, oh, we don't care about his music.
More recently, everything that's been keeping him calm has been like the music. Then once the amp fell over, he thought it was broken. He's thinking his music's gone, and that's all he has left. So we're like, it's bad, that's what I was thinking.
He was in the living room freaking out. This isn't why anything happened, because this happened all the time, every day. This could have been just like any other day. A punching bag is about this big around and this long, but it's hanging from the ceiling. It had chains on it that were about that long, and then the hook. So it's like, however high up the ceiling is, you can't even reach it by doing that. he starts counting to 3, like Randy has 3 seconds to get from the kitchen into the living room, and he wants him to unhook the thing. So he has to pick it up and lift it up so the hook can bend up and unhook off the, and he couldn't. So he's just punching him in the head and in the shoulders and in the face. And so I ran over there and I grabbed it and I held it up for Randy so he could try and unhook it. And so then he starts hitting me in the head.
He came over and told me to face him like a man. He starts hitting me until I fell down and started kicking me. And I did get up, and that happened like 3 or 4 times, getting up and falling down. And like a while later, I don't know, he came out, he talked to Joshua, I think, and I think he talked to me for a little bit. It's hard to remember. Then he told me to go to sleep, had me and my brothers go back to sleep. And my mom was just downstairs. I'm sitting there on my bed, just thinking, all right, what do I do? Trying to think of what to do. And eventually I came down there, I was talking to her, and she was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm like, what? She's like, I'm gonna kill him tonight. And I'm like, it's just weird.
I don't know. I was just standing there. And just for no reason, I don't know who was saying anything to me or not. And I just said, I'm gonna do it. And Randy said, what? And I said, kill him. And I'm all thinking, where the fuck did this come from?
She's telling me not to go do it with her, but I told her I can't let her go in there. And if something happens, I'm gonna feel like shit. I had to go in there with her. And she told me not to do it, but I said, no, I'm going. But it was like, man, I was figuring, I'm just gonna do it. And, I told her because she wanted to call the cops after it happened, I told her, okay, but I'm gonna tell them I did it because I don't want you going in trouble. You need to be out for my brothers. And I told her, I'll just go. I don't care if I have to do life, whatever, how long it is. I don't care as long as you guys are okay. At one part, actually, I went upstairs and my brothers were sleeping on the stand and looking at it, thinking about if I should do it or not, We were sitting there, and also, we just decided to pray about it, what we feel, and it's we've, in the Bible, all these people dying and stuff, but God shows such things sometimes. I was thinking, all right, she wanted to use something for it. I don't know what to do it. I'm I didn't know what I was going to use. Then she had those 2 things. She had the hammer and the hatchet. When we walk in there, right in the middle of the bedroom, there's this, it's cement floor, but there's gaps in the floor because it used to be a barn. There's boards over them. When you walk over them, it creaks and stuff, and the one's right in their doorway, right? So we walk in there, we'd try and step around it and be quiet, And in court, they said we had them under our shirt or whatever, but we had a cloth over them. And we walked in there at one point, and I'm like, hold on, I want to think about this, go back out. We were standing there and walked back out, and we talked about it. I think that's when we prayed, actually, and I went back in. And we're standing there over there, standing next to him. I'm like, are you sure? Pretty much mouthing, are you sure? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, kind of who's first, who goes first? And all of a sudden she just went, and so I just followed. And it was off and on for a couple, probably 3 each, right? And then she said stop or something and screamed and ran out, right? But then he was making this noise. I guess it's called the death rattle or whatever, that weird breathing sound, And I'm like, well, dude's suffering now. I didn't really want to make him suffer, so I did it 3 more times, and then I ran out, and he's still, making noises.
What happened is I ran out of the room, fucking flung the door behind me, grabbed my phone, and told Randy, go upstairs and call my mom and tell her what happened and get down there, And so he said, no, I'm going upstairs and get my brothers first. Ran up, got them, and he ran outside and called my mom. Well, what happened was, as soon as I told him that, I grabbed the cell phone and I went outside.
The cops showed up, and then they had my mom put the cell phone on the ground and put the handcuffs on her. And so I looked at my hands and realized I had some blood on me. So I put my hands behind my back, and I walked into the bathroom inside the White House and I washed up my hands and stuff. So I wasn't gonna ever say anything. I was just gonna try and stay out and take care of my brothers because I knew that's what I had to do.
I asked the lady, is he dead? And she said, I don't know, they're taking him away in an ambulance, and that's a good sign. I was fucking scared to death because I'm thinking he's gonna go to the hospital for 2 weeks.
Ever since I was a little kid, I remember hearing him tell it to my mom, if she tried to go to the cops or get away or anything, he said, I didn't care, he'd go straight to my aunt's house and my grandma's and one by one kill each person until she came back or he found her.
And so I was fucking scared, sitting there.
And she just oh my God, gets all scared, starts breathing. She's like, fuck, in the back seat.
So we're in the police station, and they took a few pictures, but I didn't even show them everything or tell them everything because I didn't want to talk to them, I was sitting in that room for seemed like fucking 3 hours. I don't know. And then finally, after a while, they came and got me and, brought me to the jail. And I think it was when we got there, they took me out and brought me into this little holding cell thing. And that's when they said, you're being charged with murder, you know? And I was like, just like I could breathe, I could relax, because I was so fucking scared that he didn't die. What Chris told me later, well, Randy was in jail by the time I got out, you know, she said, like, the world was lifted off his shoulders, you know. It feels weird to say something like that because it makes it seem like we're terrible people, but it's not. You know, like you heard, like 2 hours later, he's taking a nap, and the kids were outside in the yard playing lightsabers with Megan. Just weird.
Like, I remember after it happened, like, earlier the next morning or something, a couple hours later, like noon or something, I crashed out, I went to sleep on my cousin's bed, you know, and I was, like, relaxed and stuff, and then, like, for, like, a few days, it's kind of like, I didn't know, maybe he's not really gone, maybe they're just saying that. But then, like, me and my brother would be sitting there, we're, like, doing whatever we want, but then we're, like, always looking over our shoulder, like, is he coming or something? And, like, we keep looking up to the driveway, and, like, I noticed they're doing it, too. I'm like, you guys are looking to see if he's coming down the driveway, aren't you? And they're like, yeah, like, we just keep expecting he ain't gone, he's really, you know, he isn't really dead or something.
It sucks. I'm going to jail for 10 years, and Randy's going to jail, but I know in that 10 years, my other kids are going to be alive that whole time.
I almost felt like the only reason I was here, ever alive or born, was to make sure my brothers and my mom were okay and nothing happened to them. So, like, once I came in here, I'm like, all right, well, I got my job done. I made sure they're not going to be hurt anymore. So it's, you know, over and away, but then I still got to deal with this. But
To me, it kind of feels like he created this thing that there was no way out of. But it's like he made it impossible for anything good to happen, you know? And now, like, a year later, I think back and I'm still like, why, you know? What was it? Why, you know? Because I'm not that kind of person, you know, that would ever do anything, you know? And the only thing I ever, it's not a reason, but I think, you know, he just always wanted to be able to smoke weed without getting in trouble. He had the band that was gonna be the good band, I think. And he was self-employed, which he didn't want to work for anybody. Had sex whenever he wanted it, you know, 20 times a day. I don't know. The only thing that makes any sense to me is maybe something was telling me he's just, it's, because you always think, well, maybe if he, I don't know, doesn't, you know, maybe if he gets to grow weed, or maybe if he doesn't have to worry about this or that, then he'll be nicer. Not that it's never gonna stop, because I knew he was a jerk, and he's never gonna stop doing this, you know? And so it's like nothing, I didn't think of this then, but nothing that he ever wanted, that he got, made him change, you know? I don't think I'll ever know why. It's weird.
Okay, I'll put them in one of those files.
It won't pick up the salad
Okay.
plastic for. She doesn't want mine to take that on.
She wants crushed ice and a cigarette. And our ice crusher ain't working.
We'll put the ice machine there.
So we're crushing ice. Hold on one second. I'm getting ice back.
There.
How does it go?
Her favorite thing is crushed ice.
Who drew that picture?
You know where the lube and oil place is behind Walmart? Okay.
Anna, you're not this month. That's not good. Call me. I don't know if they'd let me.
Okay, bye. You drive. I'll sit in the back. Okay. Yes.
Ms. Maldonado, is there anything you would like to say?
Yeah. 10 more years until the abuse is over. I still feel as though I'm living a lie, someone else's idea of what and who I am. Before, I had to pretend to be the happy wife of a loving husband, while the truth was much different. My children and I were being physically, emotionally, mentally, and financially abused. And now Randy and I are being forced to live another lie. We are now going to be living the lives of dangerous criminals, seen as too much of a risk to other people's safety, that Randy will be locked away for the next 5.5 years, and I for 10. Only then will we have the chance to be who we really are. I've heard from many people that I shouldn't have taken this deal. Most are strangers. One was even a guard at the jail. They say there is no way you or your son would have ever been convicted. The past 20 years of my life have been horrifying and unpredictable. I've learned not to expect the good things or the right things to happen. When something good does happen, I am surprised. I will not gamble the young life of my son Randy, my best friend, on the chance the jury will do the right thing. So when the prosecution offers you a deal that you both must accept, or no one gets it, or one of you can have this deal if you become a prosecution witness and testify against the other, they know damn well to take the deal. My son has told family members he would spend every last day of his life in jail before he would get on the stand for the prosecution, and I feel the same way. I know these comments that people make to me that there is no way you would ever get convicted are meant in a good way, but I can't rest 25 years of my son's life on the kindness of strangers. When you haven't seen a lot of kindness, it's hard to count on. My reasons for taking this deal are just that. I will do this to ensure that at 23 instead of 43, Randy will have his first ever chance at freedom. My children and I are the only ones who will ever know what it was like to live in our home. Because no one else will ever know, no one can understand the choices I've made, the choices I continue to make. We don't have enough time for me to tell you and for you to listen, for you to even get a sense of what my story and my children's story is. No one but my kids and I know the truth. I understand that his friends and his family have questions and have pain. I don't want to dismiss their pain. I don't want to minimize my children's pain and my pain. My children are still paying the price for another person's choices. My children are 17, 15, 15, and 13 years old. I want you to ask why my children are being sentenced to 10 years without me, years when they need me so they can heal, grow, and finally have the chance of becoming the men they are capable of becoming. I taught my kids not to let someone else's anger and hate change you, make you a bitter, angry person, not to lose your soul. They didn't, I didn't, and I won't. They are with me, and I'm going to be with them, if not in body, then in love, mind, spirit, and soul. They have been crushed, but have survived, bent but not broken. They now have a future with the chance to freely grow.
Ms. Walker probably spoke for all of us when she said this is probably the worst case of domestic violence any of us have ever seen. I can't think of a more sad and tragic situation than we have here. Family broken apart, irretrievably. Nobody is won. Nobody's getting away with anything. There's no doubt in the court's mind that there was what we call domestic violence in the home. I'm convinced that it happened the way that people have talked about here. The defendant's actions, your actions were so extreme and so, in a sense, poorly thought out. There was no effort at all to get away with it. There was no effort at all to cover it up or pin it on somebody else. It had to be like you said it was, or you wouldn't have done what you did. But we can't justify what you did and say, okay, you did it, he was a bad person, you can walk away from this. Because we don't work that way. The law says it doesn't work that way. maybe you have an argument to take to the legislature to expand justifiable homicide under the law. But this court can't do that. Formally sentencing, you know already what I'm going to say. It sends you to 120 months in the custody of the Oregon Department of Corrections with no possibility of early release or other consideration.